So I want to start off by saying something like, hi, it's Jack and Dylon with Postcards and HIT. This is the continuation of our Enjoying Postcards podcast, but we've upgraded our equipment a little bit. We have a stereo microphone now, and we've updated the format of our podcast a little bit, where we're going to talk about not only postcards, but some of the other shit that we do, including some of the projects that we work on together. So Dad and I have been doing collaborative projects for a number of years. We probably started out originally doing costuming. Later on, it was working on stained glass together. We made videos together. But one of the other things that we've made quite a few of now are books. Probably our first collaborative effort together was this one. A lot of folks who know me know this book. It's The Art of Chainmail. It was originally published in 2002, but we started working on it in 1998 with you doing the illustrations.
Yeah, they were the first illustrations I did.
The very first illustrations you did.
And I did them twice because they weren't right the first time.
We had to do them again, and then they still weren't right. So then I spent another 2 years teaching myself how to do the 3D design that finally went into The Art of Chainmail.
Now, did Al print those first out in Lake Nunavut?
That was our really good friend, Al McClure, down at Big Lake with Expertronics, printed the first editions. If you have a first edition of this, it'll have a different cover on it that was hand-laminated. It might have curled a little bit, and it might have been signed by me. So the next project that we worked on after that, we actually did Misery Bay, which was our award-winning video in 2000. But then the next book that we worked on, we started on somewhere around 2003, 2004. I'd always wanted to do a graphic novel, and so you hand drew all the illustrations of these with a pencil, and it's a very unique style.
Yes, but it created you a lot of problems. Now,
well,
didn't it?
Exactly. All of these pages are digitally composed, so I took the original elements of the image, scanned them, and then put them together, which meant I had to clean all the pencil marks off of these. It took us a really long time, and then the book actually sat in the can for an entire decade before we got it finally funded in 2014. And that was part of our white store that we had down at the Gore Bay Harbor Center, and they were nice enough to support us with an advertisement on the back cover. Now, the book we did after that, and you can see down there the drawing tablet that we still use. The first thing that you created on that drawing tablet was the Manitoulin Island coloring book. That came after the tragedy of the Asia, and all of these drawings were originally done on that. But it took us how many years to get this out? I think it was 14 years. Sure. 14 years for this one to see the publication. This is the one we saw in publication last year. We've had 2 print runs of this now. Very, very popular. We're still selling these 14 locations on the island, and this is what leads into, of course, our Coloring Manitoulin, which is our 2017 coloring book project, and that's what we're going to be showing you different footage of. I've really enjoyed.
We're going to get into, as we're going along creating the book, we'll start showing that on your podcast.
Well, you know that I really like doing time lapses, so we've been creating time lapses of us doing the work on the book, and we're going to start showing some of those, and then we're going to do voiceovers talking about what we're doing, and hopefully offer a little behind-the-scenes introspection into the project.
And I play the voice of Jack.
You play the voice of Jack. I'm Dylon, who plays the voice of Dylon and does all the technical work to make the podcast go. And I suppose we should show the other project that we did, which was Manitoulin Illustrated, and this is the one that was done closest to its actual publication in 2016, so it's 11 years old now. But we created this really nice history book with all these beautiful illustrations. Again, they were all created on the drawing tablet. Again, all composed.
This is the first one I drew on the tablet.
Yeah, you did everything on the tablet.
The other way of drawing was just to draw.
Yeah. This one was a little bit easier to put together, although it was quite a bit of work in its own right. I think it's really neat because we took a lot of the old island stories, which I find to be really dry. I call them the equivalent of mental sandpaper, and we turned them into nice stories. They're really easy to read. They have illustrations. It's a much more accessible way to look at history. Oh, and that's something we never mentioned about the tragedy of the Asia. After we published it, it was used by Bowling Green University in Indiana for one of their courses, and that was the first time that they ever used a graphic novel for one of their, I think it was marine history, so they had books in the course. Something else interesting is all the font in the book is Comic Sans Serif, so, you know, for all the fans out there of Comic Sans Serif, there's a really good example of that. And I guess that's basically it. This is the introduction to our new podcast, and I hope you keep watching. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that we have a brand new website at enjoyingpostcards.whitesonline.com. We've put together a really neat site with a whole bunch of resources for postcard collectors, and we've also included information on how you can support our podcast. We have a GoFundMe campaign, we have a Patreon site, we have affiliate links. There's lots of information, lots of neat postcards, so take a look at it, and thank you for following us, thank you for subscribing to us, thank you for sharing us. That's absolutely wonderful. This has been Dylan with Postcards and Shit.
And I'm Jack, and I'm full of shit.
And we have a lot of shit to talk about.